Hey there, Minecrafters. Welcome to this Minecraft tutorial video here on the channel. And we do indeed have a Happy Ghast behind us right here. An absolute pog rideable entity, a new entity added into the game. So we're in Minecraft 1.21.6 and we're on the Java edition here. This is the Chase the Skies update. And this is going to be the main thing people are interested in. How to get this right here, a Happy Ghast. So that is the point of this tutorial. How to get this, the full guide. I'm going to show you the full process. There's a multi-stage process to get a Happy Ghast, but it's pretty straightforward once you kind of learn how to do it. But if you guys do enjoy this video and you want to support the channel, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We're very much appreciated here on the channel. And be sure to hit the bell so you're notified of new videos here on the channel. And be sure to tell me in the comments down below, engage with the video on what you think of the new update as well as the Happy Ghast. So first off, when it comes to this, we actually have to go into the Nether right here. That is right. So there's one thing that you can actually find now in the Nether. So you're going to want to find a soul sand valley right here, which has the soul sand and the soul dirt in it. And it's also got this like bluish fog, I suppose. And you're going to want to find these fossils here. So sometimes in the soul sand valleys, these fossils actually spawn. And you'll notice that sometimes about 1 in 3 chance, one of these will spawn. A very sad and miserable looking dried ghast. So this mini ghast here is a dried ghast, and you can actually mine this instantly without any tools whatsoever. But that is the first thing we need to do, is you need to find a dried ghast. Now, I find that it is most fun by finding these guys in the Nether, but there's also 2 other ways you can get a dried ghast in Minecraft. So another way is to do piglin trading to get it. It is something that they can actually give you, I guess, in exchange with the items you give them. The other way, which is actually the easiest way, in a way I kind of wish they didn't add this, but it does make it very accessible in the game. You need a ring of ghast tears and some soul sand, and you can craft the dried ghast that way. So technically, if you've actually killed a load of normal ghasts in Minecraft, then you should be able to get a dried ghast pretty easily without even going into the Nether. So that is the first stage right there. Now, the next stage right here is that you need to bring the dried ghast back to your Minecraft world in the overworld. And essentially, we need to rehydrate this dried ghast so that it can grow up and become a Happy Ghast. So how we actually do this is that you have to waterlog the dried ghast. So if you place it in your world and make sure you place a water bucket right in the block where it's actually sitting, that should start to hydrate the dried ghast. And you can tell if it's working because there'll be green particle effects being emitted from the dried ghast. And essentially this will cause it to transform into another like creature, and it basically starts to grow up, I guess you could say. So there are many different states you can go through. So this is the normal state where it's completely dehydrated. But as it gets hydrated, it starts to change into a happier and happier ghast. And by the time it gets to this point, it will then transform into another kind of ghast, or another variant of ghast, I guess you could say. Now, it takes about 20 minutes for a dried ghast to actually convert over, and eventually it should actually turn into a ghastling. So this is essentially a baby Happy Ghast, and it should follow the player around, and it does also follow other entities and mobs as well in the world, but it is a very, very adorable and cute ghastling. So this is how you get a ghastling. So this is the next stage. after the dried ghast. And essentially we need to kind of allow this ghastling to grow up into a happy ghast. And if you wait another 20 minutes in game, it will actually transform into a happy ghast. But there is another way to speed that up. So it does actually follow snowballs, as you can see here, as well as also the happy ghasts as well. But if you actually feed them snowballs, it actually it makes it so that they grow up quicker. And it's kind of a similar thing with other entities in the game where you feed the babies food and it causes them to grow up quicker. It's a pretty similar thing. Come on, little guy, grow up. You know you want to. Come on. Come on. You're so nearly there. Come on. Come on. Come on. Where are you? Where are you, big guy? Where are you? It is imminent, I'm sure. Come on. I think you have to use about over 2 stacks of snowballs in order to actually help them grow up. But you can see here we have a absolute big ass happy ghast, which has grown from the dried ghast to the ghastling, and now this is the final form. And you can see here it is actually following us around with the snowball. Now, this is a rideable mob in Minecraft, which makes it all the bit cooler. And I'm going to show you now how to make a harness so that you can actually ride it. So what you need is you need any colored wool, you need 2 bits of glass and 3 bits of leather, and this will make a colored harness you can put on the ghast. So here we go. If we right click with the harness, we can actually put it on, and there we go. We have a green harness, happy ghast, and a red. They just look so epic, man, and so badass, and just clearly the best rideable mob or best rideable entity in the game right now, that is for sure. Let me show you how we actually get to ride this thing. So you right click on here and you can see we are placed in the front seat of the happy ghast. So if you right click, the goggles come down on the happy ghast, which is a very nice touch when you actually ride it. And essentially, the other thing that makes this mob very unique, this entity very unique, is that 4 players can actually be on it at one time. So the first person that joins will be in the front seat and actually will be able to control the happy ghast. And then as more players are added, it should go around the harness in a clockwise area. So 3 other players can actually be added to the happy ghast when there's someone up front. And essentially when it comes to the controls here, it's pretty straightforward. You use the space bar in order to actually gain height with the happy ghast, and if you then use W, you go forward. If you use S, you go backwards, backwards completely. And if you use A, you can go left. And if you use D, you can go right. So it's a pretty simple thing. The other cool aspect when it comes to a happy ghast is that if you try and dismount it when it's actually in the air, if you use left shift, you will dismount it, right? And we're now standing on the happy ghast. But you can see now that it's actually frozen. It's frozen in place, and we can actually walk around on this thing, and we can actually do this, I guess, to, help with building and do things high up and stuff like that. And when the happy ghast is frozen like this, it realigns itself with the horizontal axis of the world, and it will then just stay put until you go off it. So that's a pretty nice feature as well. And if you are on the happy ghast, you can then right click it again to actually use it again and then move around, as you can see here. Now, another thing you need to be aware of as well is how health regen works with happy ghast. So if it's raining or snowing, a happy ghast should regen health. But also, if you go high up in the world here near the cloud layer, or where the cloud level actually is in the world, that can also allow the happy ghast to regen health. So there's 3 main ways how health can be recovered on your happy ghast. And there we go. We are pretty much above the clouds now with our own Happy Ghast. It is just so awesome to have this kind of creature pretty much like very high up in the world. And, you know, you can go right up to the height limit with these things. And it's just so epic. And it is an experience to use this for the first time. Like, it's a very unique like bit of gameplay they've actually developed here. And one of my favorites I've seen for quite some time. So bravo, Mojang, you have done a very good job here. Now, as you guys can see here, we can actually use a leash here on a Happy Ghast to bring it down and to move it around and stuff like that. There is another thing I want to show you as well. So if you have a big entity like a boat or a camel or something like that, or even a sniffer, then it has like a special option when it comes to leashes in Minecraft. So what you need to do is you need to attach a leash to one of those entities in the game. And then if you end up going over to a Happy Ghast, you need to shift and right click. So shift and right click, and it does this very special like 4 leash setup with the entity. So you can see here, it's now kind of moving the boat around. Now, this is obviously a very useful transportation thing you can do to kind of move other entities around, which is pretty epic. And yeah, we can do that with that, which is pretty cool. And also we can do it with a camel as well, which I'm going to try and show you as well. Aha, here you are. You're all the way over here. So if we get this camel as well, it's a very similar thing. So if we go over to the Happy Ghast, shift, right click, and there we go, as you can see there. It is so cool. It's like they didn't really need to implement this, but the fact that they have just adds to the ambience and the experience and the feature as a whole. So it's just so cool. A very cool feature with the Happy Ghast. And there we go, everyone. That's pretty much all of the important details on Happy Ghast and how to get them and what you can do with them and stuff like that. Hopefully it helps you out. There's probably a few other details, but those are the main sort of things to get you going with the gameplay in this new update of Minecraft. If you want to follow my socials, they're on screen and in the description. If there's any other tutorials you want me to do on the channel, let me know, especially anything new with the new update to Minecraft. I may do it for a future video. But stay happy and healthy, everyone. Hope you have a nice day and have fun with these Happy Ghasts. They are such a blast. It is ridiculous. But see you in the next video, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.